Hey friend, welcome back. If you caught the intro episode, then you already know this isn't a podcast about addiction. It's about you, the woman who has been duct taping the world together with love, grit, prayer, sheer determination of will to fix everything for everybody, and probably a lot of caffeine. It's about you, the one who's been carrying everyone else's chaos like it's a full-time job without pay, benefits, or even a decent lunch break. And you're tired, maybe completely wiped out. But what if I told you the reason you're so drained isn't just because they're sick? It's because you're sick too. Now, I'm not trying to predict some kind of doom and gloom diagnosis, okay? Where this is leading is actually the opposite. It's a turning point. It's a chance to exhale, okay? It's the moment where you stop trying to rescue them and start giving yourself permission to recover. Let me explain. I want you to picture this, okay? Your kid's got the flu, like the real flu. They're pale, running a high fever, they're snotty-nosed. It ain't cute. So what do? You spring into action, right? Because that's what you do. You're playing nurse, chef, janitor, emotional support animal, whatever it takes. You're fluffing pillows, you're wiping foreheads, you're fixing hot soup and cold drinks, you're Googling natural remedies at 3 a.m. You cancel all your plans because you're a whole crisis team in yoga pants. But then something starts to shift. You're flashing hot, you're cold, sometimes at the same time. Your throat is on fire. You're sweating through your bathrobe. Your head feels like it's been through a paint mixer. But you keep going because, well, they're sick, right? Not not you. They're sick. So you keep going until you reach the point you can barely stand. And it hasn't even occurred to you that maybe you need help too. You're still fluffing their pillows and fixing the soup and the tea and shoving cold and flu medicine down their throat because you desperately want them to get well because you think if they get better, then you'll feel better too. And when we look at addiction through the lens of being the flu, we can see that that doesn't make much sense. But that's exactly how we approach addiction. Our person brings it home, but it doesn't stop with them. It spreads quietly, invisibly, pervasively. And before you know it, the whole damn house is sick. When we talk about someone who's struggling with alcoholism or addiction, their symptoms are usually pretty obvious. There's lies, money disappears. I mean, hell, everything in my house started disappearing. They are pulling disappearing acts. There's crazy mood swings that don't make any sense. It's total chaos, right? But our symptoms tend to be more invisible and usually aren't talked about that often because, well, we get pretty good at hiding what's going on with us too, as well as learning to also be pretty secretive. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, right? I mean, things like obsessively checking your phone so you can at least try to be mentally prepared for the next 2 a.m. Mom, I need help, call or text, or the relentless tracking on Find Friends or secretly install GPS on the phone or the car. A CIA surveillance has nothing on a mom or a wife or a partner who is determined to save someone they love. We could teach intelligence agencies a thing or two, and I mean that seriously. We constantly cancel our appointments and put everything we want or need on hold because there's always a bigger fire to put out. That's not just stress. That's not just being a good mom or partner. That's emotional illness. It's codependency. It's hypervigilance. It's trauma. And your nervous system is waving this little white flag like, can we please take a break? But for the most part, the world doesn't see any of that because you're still smiling at work, you're still making dinner, you're still saying, I'm fine. And actually, because you're so practiced at it, you say it very convincingly. I always thought if they would just get clean, then I could be okay. But that's not how it worked. Because the truth was, I was sick too. I was sick from the worry. I was sick from the grief. I was sick from loving so hard and holding on so tight that I forgot how to breathe. And nothing started to change until I stopped trying to cure them and started treating me. And that is a necessary step because the longer we are trapped in this nightmare, the sicker we get. Even if we aren't consciously aware of it or willing to acknowledge that we've also slipped into some pretty unhealthy behaviors and thought patterns ourselves, we're probably not showing up as our best selves, right? And so if our person goes to rehab or starts going to meetings and they start working on their recovery, and we are not also working on our recovery and healing from all of this trauma, then we can actually become the toxic element in their life. And that is the last thing we want. I'll talk about that more in depth in an upcoming episode. I think it's like episode 10 or 11, something like that. So if you've been walking around and thinking, I just need him to get clean, I just want her to come home, I just need them to stop using and everything will be okay. This is your wake up call. Not a harsh one, not a like pull yourself together one. It's just a soft, warm sister to sister kind of wake up because this isn't just about them anymore. And I laugh when I say that because I would get so angry at my sons when they would say, Mom, it's not about you. And I'm like, my bank account is significantly depleted at this moment because you figured out how to forge my signature on my check. It feels like it's a lot about me. But I did come to understand it really wasn't about me. As my oldest said, I was collateral damage in their nightmare. So now this is the chance to turn that around. This podcast is not about them. It's about you. It's about healing the part of you that has been consumed by that storm. It's about reclaiming the life you've put on hold. It's about your recovery. If this episode landed, if the flu metaphor maybe hit a little too close to home, consider this your gentle invitation to begin your own healing. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just tired, maybe a little sick. But the beautiful thing is you can get better and you don't have to do it alone. This podcast, this space is where you can start. So take a deep breath, subscribe if this feels like what you need, and share with a friend who's maybe been carrying far too much for far too long too. Because from here on out, it's not just about survival. It's about rebuilding peace, finding clarity, and finally making it about you.